Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Translation Studies and Training, SOTST, Master of Arts, Translation Studies, Maths, English, First Year, MTT 010 Theories of Translation, Block 1 Translation, Concept and Importance, Unit 2 Translation, Nature and Scope, 2.0 Objectives. After going through this unit, you will be able to understand. Can the art of translation be learned by practice? Is it possible to formulate a scientific method in the study of translation? Can a universal law or principle like science be incorporated in translation? What is the relationship between translation and the study of new languages? What is the area and scope of translation? How is translation elaborated in sociocultural contexts? What is the role of translation in today's worldwide communication? 2.1 Introduction. In the previous unit of this block, we got acquainted with the concept and dimensions of translation. The present unit deals with the nature and scope of translation. Translation is as old as human civilization. Human being a social animal, he invented language to communicate, express or exchange ideas with other members of his society. Language is a great achievement of human civilization. Translation originated in man's attempt to communicate with members of another linguistic community. Today, no community in any corner of the world can remain isolated by being cut off from the whole world. Therefore, the relevance and generality of translation is unquestionable. It is impossible to imagine world communication without translation. That's why the concept of global village is a result of translation. It would not be an exaggeration to say this. Looking at the importance of translation, there is a need to give systematic form to its meaning, form, nature, and process. With such an effort, translation emerges as an academic subject. Again, the question is natural that what is the nature of the knowledge of translation? Whether we can learn translation through practice by learning some rules and principles or by following the path of doing and learning, its interpretation and analysis is necessary. To point to translation as an academic discipline, it is a natural question before the student of translation studies that how to study translation as a discipline. There is evidence of connection and communication between ancient civilizations such as the Indus Valley civilizations of Egypt and Mesopotamia, and all regions of the world are in direct contact as a result of the communication revolution. Language in the world keeps on being born and died due to various reasons relative to time. The languages that exist today on the world horizon were replaced by other languages a few hundred years ago. Despite the extinction of those earlier languages, the knowledge of that time is preserved. In fact, everything is the result of translation. It is now clear that there has been a vast tradition of translation. There are many people who have voluntarily chosen the field of translation and translated some texts or literature. Most of them believe that translation can be learned on their own initiative and personal experience and in no way incorporate a systematic pace of its teaching. Nor can the principles of translation be of any use in practical translation. Some scholars are of the opinion that translation is related to the study of two languages, which is a subject of linguistics. So the possibility of translation as an independent subject is not sustainable. There are also many people who have tried to find and set up a systematic way of teaching translation. In their views, translation can be developed as an academic subject. Today, in many universities or institutes, the course of translation is being taught as an independent subject and it has been developed as an academic subject of higher studies. Keeping in mind the generality and importance of translation, it is clear. By studying it, translation skills can be mastered. Before understanding the process of translation, it is necessary to understand the real nature of translation. 2.3 Nature of translation. The natural question about translation is whether it is a scientific study or an artistic endeavor, or a researchable theory or a technical craft or a branch of linguistics, or whether the role of translation as a bridge between different languages and cultures is a complex and multifaceted activity. As it appears, there are different views about the nature of translation. These views can be mainly classified into the following categories: art, science, craft, and recreation. These categories can also be called the basic components of the nature of translation. In order to properly understand the nature of translation, the discussion and analysis of these categories is necessary. 2.3.1 Translation is a science. The nature of each educational subject is often examined whether that subject is art or science, and in this context, the opposition between art and science is shown. It is said that science is a systematic knowledge which is based on research and observation, and art is a systematic practice in which self expression is embedded in the inflammatory process. But the definite statement about any one subject that it is this or that only science, every result is based on some science, and artistic expression can be done by the practice of scientific truth. As music does, there is a sound related science behind it, and there is a science of dance when a person performs this, there is system behind it. So by keeping the balance with one's practice, one also exhibits one's art. In conclusion, translation is an art as well as a science, but it is not necessary that the person who goes along with the practice of translation should be expert in science, and a person skilled in the science of translation should be able to translate. Again, there is a question: how is translation a science? There are a number of scholars who consider translation as a science. Many people have objection in accepting this statement easily. What do we mean by science? Science literally means specialized knowledge, i.e., science is that body of principles and definite knowledge which has the ability to have an explanation on the basis of causal rules of every related phenomenon in a chosen field, and the rules are so invariable and definite that their future incident can be predicted on this basis. Certainty and the ability to predict are considered two essential elements of science. There is no possibility of exception to them. An astronomer is able to predict astronomical events such as eclipses with a confidence that is accurate to the calculation of a second. A mathematician can derive a definite answer to a mathematical problem from his calculations, and a chemist is able to combine two or more elements without error. Can a chemical compound be formed by mixing? A biologist can accurately describe the physical structure of a living being or a plant, and a physicist can run the biggest machines by generating light and power from the energy hidden in nature. Then it is natural to wonder whether there can be universal principles like science in translation, and sure results can be obtained from them. The results of social sciences cannot be as certain as those of natural sciences like physics, chemistry, etc. It seems impossible to incorporate such generally accepted principles of translation, science, which can translate between any two languages of the world. Whenever we translate on the basis of general rules of translation, we get ridiculous results many times. Scholars of social subjects like history, politics, economics, and sociology, etc., believe that these subjects lack absolute certainty and substance. That is, there is a lack of rules without exception in these subjects, and predictions cannot be made with certainty according to those rules. Social scientists are of the opinion that predicting the future with certainty is not the true standard of science, and they argue that the science of a subject does not depend on the possibility of predicting with absolute certainty and certainty, but on the anti-law of that subject. The more solid and systematic the tradition of studying a subject, the more scientific it will be. any academic subject in the study of which scientific method can be adopted and, on the basis of its general rules, predictions can be made with certainty rather than fumigation, it can be a science. Many subjects which are related to language, society and culture and scientific method of study are adopted in them are counted in the category of social sciences. It is true that the socio-cultural context and linguistic behavior of humans are not the same all over the world, which is not relating to translation science, nor is the analysis of linguistic behavior as easy as that of physical objects. The rules of science are unchanging, the rules of linguistic behavior are indefinite and diverse. Yet it does not depend entirely on arbitrariness, general rules can be found in it too. There is a definite order in it. If this was not the case, we would not be able to find the reasons for language development, would not be able to understand the process of language development, nor would we be able to guess about it in any way. In fact, in many of the natural sciences, we can only speculate rather than predict with certainty. For example, there are subjects like meteorology which express probabilities and not pure predictions. The laws of science are not completely general, which applies in all situations. That is why new theories are constantly being discovered in physics, which explain the limitations of the previous laws. Of course, in this context, it can be said that there is only a quantitative difference between physical sciences and social sciences in prediction or prediction on the basis of causal rules and not a formal one. Burley supported this by writing that some sciences, especially those related to the humanities, do not stand the test of 100% predictions. Clearly, translation has full potential to become a science. While ensuring this, scholars have given it the noun of translation science. The proposal to consider translation as a science was made by Need in his book Towards Science of Translating. The process of translation is scientific. The more familiar the translator is with this process, the more successful the translator is. When we talk about scientific process, then the elements of observation, test, classification, analysis, comparison, formula determination, rules, principles, etc. are included. These elements help in the process of translation. The scientist maintains a neutral attitude in the study of science. Its main focus is on objectivity. The translator also has to remain a member like a scientist while presenting the text material of the source language in the target language and has to translate the text material objectively and as it should. The following arguments can be presented to prove the translation as scientific. Firstly, translation is related to linguistics. The scientific method of study in languages unmistakably included. Universal general principles of language have been discovered, on the basis of which the process of history, development, and change of language can be well understood. On the basis of these principles and rules of the language, an attempt is seen to develop and enrich the language. Individual and institutional efforts to build vocabulary have become possible largely because of these reasons. Many scholars believe in the divine theory of the origin of language, yet it has been possible to include the process of scientific study in language system and analysis. The essential relation of translation is with the interpretation and analysis of language. Western linguists neither classified translation as a science. Linking the process to comparative linguistics as a result of interpretation and analysis of linguistic practices and cultural contexts of different societies, such principles and general rules have been discovered to some extent, using which general rules of translation are being derived. Today there is a rapid attempt to configure and organize the general rules of translation in the fields of different special contexts like science, administration, law. General rules related to the translation of conceptual language related to science and administrative language has started to be accepted, but in spite of all this, literary translation still remains a challenge to a great extent. Nevertheless, scholars have begun to explore translation grammar for translation to some extent. Indeed, in its present form, translation has been established as a science, just like other social sciences. That is, a definite method of study has been developed in it, and a large number of such facts have been arranged and analyzed in which the method of scientific study can be used. Moremdi believes that whether translation is considered a science or an art, do it in the modern sense, and there is 100 developments, improvements, and researches, just as technology develops from the rules and principles of science, and our work can be made possible and easy by the application of technology. Similarly, on the basis of the rules and principles of translation, the technique of machine translation has been developed today. Software has been developed that allows translation in some areas to a working level. There is a website which is providing online translation facility on the net. Machine translation is a major achievement in the field of translation in the modern era. This is a symbol of how supportive role science plays in translation. 2.3.2 Limitation of translation as a science. All these types of machine translation have their limitations. All mechanical efforts may not result in the best translation. Translation mainly uses scientific data from various sources of linguistics, such as semantic or sociolinguistic. At present, it has been connected with computer science, and branches like machine translation and computer dependent have been developed. But despite the possibility of translation as a science, it is not a science in itself. The rules of translation do not break so much that they can be proved by repeated experiments and can be considered valid. The definition of word-to-word translation in translation tries to bring it closer to translation, but word-for-word translation of a text often turns out to be ridiculous. Therefore, instead of literal translation in translation, keeping the meaning of the text of the said language in the center. Select suitable words and phrases from the possible alternatives for the same meaning in the source language. Thus, translation is a search for equivalence. Although the translator uses scientific principles and data, he uses it in such a way that there is some freedom of expression of personal interest, bias, imagination, and expressions. This exemption present in the search for equivalence in the context of cultural contexts is a major obstacle in translation becoming a science. There can be many solutions to any translation problem, and a creative translation can find a quick solution to any problem. The problem related to translation may be of a similar type, but it is impossible to formulate any such principle or rule which can be applied in the same way at every time and in every situation, because there is considerable variation between the languages and their cultural contexts. According to Newmark, translation is the transfer of the meaning of a text into another language. The other major obstacle to the incorporation of principles or rules in translation, therefore, pertains to meaning, which itself is a subject of controversy in the humanities. No two languages of the world are same at the level of meaning. It has its own characteristics. 2.9.3 Translation as an art. It is often seen that there are differences in the translations done by different translators of a certain text. This is because translation is essentially an art and not a science. Knowledge of language, understanding of cultural background, art of writing, etc. Most translations are not exactly the same. Communication is an art, oratory is an art, and good writing is an art. It is effective. Translation has an essential relationship in this sense. Translation also unites. In other words, writing or linguistic communication is also an art. Therefore, translation is also an art. Art is a skill of its own and it is systematically practiced. Some art is given to a person in the form of God-given talent, while some can be mastered by learning its technique or it can be improved by one's own efforts. Similarly, in translation, on the strength of one's own talent, and some by improving the qualities of translation, it can be taken to an artistic height. There are many arts and the purpose of each art is to research and feel the beauty. There is linguistic beauty in the translated work, especially in literary translation, and it is a pleasure to read it. The translation should be in such a way that the text of the source language and the text of the target language give the taste of separate independent linguistic text, and it can be known only after reading both the texts that the said text is a translation and that they should have their full effect, and if there is no shadow of translation in the text of the target language, then in reality we will call it translation in true sense. Art is related to humans' taste, perception. Sculpture, painting, architecture, music and poetry, etc. are counted as fine arts. If the composition organized by self-knowledge, words, expressions etc. is a fine art, so to transfer the elegance of one shell to another target language again with the same taste effect is a higher level of art than the above mentioned art, literally cuts to a high standard. If a literator is an artist, then the one who translates the same level is an artist of the same level into languages, and in fact even bigger, because there is a wonderful harmony of both Karayatri and Bhavyatri Pratibha, practice-based knowledge and gifted knowledge by birth, in it. If a literator has the means of any one language and that linguistic culture, then the translator has the source and the target, the words and expressions of both the languages, with the help of which he can make the best and artistic translation possible. It is a common belief that art is God-given and innate and cannot be acquired. It is also said that an artist or writer is born, cannot be made by hard work. Thinking in this sense and concluding that translation is an art and this too cannot be learned as an art, then the truth of this idea is partial. One may have innate talent, one does not become an artist just because of it. With sincere training and practice, one has to upgrade and mature his art. Then how is it possible to judge whether a person has talent for any art or not? Yes, sometimes someone could not be taught despite efforts. But there can be a possibility behind this that he lacks dedication towards learning the art. Translation is a great work. Other arts are easily available, and then the art of translation can be achieved only by special practice and practice. Therefore, the art of translation can also be learned through exposure and practice. The artistry of the translator lies in the fact that by taking the original work in the heart, along with its original statement, the expressions, thoughts and cultural references should be communicated in the target language with complete equivalence. At the same time, the artistic skill of translation becomes visible. Thus, translation is a fine art in the sense of imitation. Imitation is also very important in art. The art of acting is often based on imitation. Only such a translator, who has artistic skills like an artist, can express the text of the source language in another language with the same artistic understanding. 2.3.4 Limitation of translation as an art. The fundamental difference between translation art and fine art is that in fine art the artists express themselves, but the translator does not have the freedom to express himself in translation. It translates the spirit of the original into another language. This alone does not make translation an art. The difference between a translator and an artist also lies in the fact that the translator does not create art, but establishes a relationship with the text of the source language and expresses it neutrally in the target language with the same artistic sense. Thus, the main difference between translator and artist is about the method of creation, Where is the difficulty in the art of translation? In fact, the artistic challenge for the translator is to search for equivalence. Under translation, this equivalence should be meaningful as well, and in the search for stylistic equivalence, the translation has little leeway for artistic expression. 2.3.5 Translation as a craft. The question arises whether translation is an art in the sense of a fine art. Keeping in view all the characteristics of fine arts, if we think about it, then the limitations of translation become clear automatically. Translation cannot be kept in the category of traditional fine arts like painting, sculpture, music, poetry, etc. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, skill or technique is called craft. In this regard, it means the work of making something by hand, handicraft or workmanship or art business, training and practice to get the skill of structuring a useful thing. Craftsmanship is skill and this type of work is craft. The craft does not bear the imprint of the personality of the creator, rather it does the job with efficiency. In spite of having many similar replicas, it lacks the individuality, talent and creativity of the craftsman, therefore art gets a higher place than the artist and craft than the craftsman. Some scholars place translation in the category of craft other than art or science. In this sense, Newmark has written while interpreting translation that the attempt to substitute a written text or statement in one language by the same text or statement in another language is a craft. In other words, considering translation as a craft, Newmark is of the opinion that literal translation is the basis of the translation process, both in communicative and semantic translation, and on this basis he declares that if the target language is in harmony with the source language, if the meaning is mutually compatible, then accurate translation is the most appropriate process. Expressing his opinion in this regard, Dr. Bholanath Tiwari writes that, under the craft, more importance is given to carpentry. Along with this, practice is also very important in the craft. If the craftsman has practice, education, qualification, etc., then beauty comes in his craft. Even for the translator, these qualities are necessary. Therefore, if the source material is based on facts, information science, then like a craftsman, the translator will also be able to translate. If the material of the source is objective and formulaic, then translation would undoubtedly take the form of a craft. Translation related to official, translation, law, literature, science, etc. is a kind of craftsmanship. Therefore, it is not inappropriate to call translation a craft. Yes, it must be noted that if the content and information are related to science, etc., and there is self-expression in it, if there is a lack of translation, then its translation can be called a craft. But if the original material is related to any genre of literature, then translation will come in the category of art. 2.3.6 Translation is feedback. Translation. The word is derived from the prefix anu to vad. Translation anu, prefix, comma, vad. It means restatement, that is, to make the same statement similar to one's statement, to say according to one's statement, when something said in one language is expressed in a similar way in another language, then it is called translation. Recreation also means almost the same thing. Creation means original creation or creation or creation. Recreation of these would be called recreation. The meaning is that when the translator recreates in another language, then it is again called creation. It is to be noted here that while substituting the content of the original language in another language, it is only a change of language, not a change of meaning. Essentially, the process of creation and translation are exactly the same. Unless the translator establishes identity with the original creation and becomes identical with its feeling, intention, message, or expression, the translation done by him cannot come in the category of best translation. Creative talent is essential in a translator. An original creator gives artistic form to his most original feeling through words. A translator reproduces the same artistic expression in another language. In this way, the creator and the translator are equal artists, just as a creator is compelled to express the feeling that comes to his mind in words, and after verbalizing it, he feels immense peace and satisfaction. In the same way, a translator is also impressed by a creation. It also gets overwhelmed from inside and gets engaged in translation with the inspiration to include its other language speakers in its joy. If the translator expresses the translated content in the target language, then the intensity of his mind is also parallel to that of the original creator, not completely but in many parts. While selecting each word in the translation, the translator has to struggle with himself. Janendra Kumar, a famous Hindi writer, has written in this context that the truth is that with the help of language, knowledgeable or experienced people are moving towards the study of life or life. It turns from soul to subtle. Here it will be from experience. It becomes difficult to keep even a touch. The translator should be careful about this, and it is better to hold back the pen until the meaning of the mistake becomes so heartfelt that it seems to be heard in the feeling. The pen should also move along with the writing when the moment comes out, otherwise the translator does not succeed by the power of manual work. Translation is the reproduction of the same meaning of the content of the source language in the target language. The process of translation consists of selecting suitable words that can potentially substitute for the meaning of the source language material in the target language. Sometimes the target language lacks words that convey exactly the same meaning, and the process of translation leaves something unsaid or the possibility of meaning change. Therefore, one has to search for equivalence in translation. Transliteration and equivalent replacement of material from one language into another is recreation or transcreation. From this point of view, translation is undoubtedly regeneration. But the translator has his own limit. He does not have the right to change the original material while translating it. He can neither add nor leave anything in it, nor can he make any change in it. It is clear from the above discussion that both the process of original creation and translation has similarity at the level of expression. Translation cannot be called creative literature from temporal point of view, but at the level of style of expression, translation can come in the category of creation of original literature. 2.4 Scope and areas of translation. In a limited sense, we refer to translation as the study of comparative literature or the translation of material from one language into another. But in true sense, the importance and prevalence of language in socio-cultural contexts is almost the same and much more important than that of translation. The task of translation is not only to translate the work of one language into another, but it has a very important role in the field of human civilization. Translation can prove to be very useful in realizing the concept of seeing the whole world as one family. Language diversity erects walls between man and sometimes makes it so insensitive that social conflicts take place on the basis of language. This language diversity and linguistic enmity is a major obstacle in the establishment of national unity and harmony. Where the walls of language give us the vision of seeing the world divided into pieces, the same translation provides an opportunity to rise above its linguistic narrowness and realize the concept of the world as a knot and humanize our vision. When the literatures of different languages come together in translated form, there is a sense of universal and spiritual unity. When the literature of one language is translated into the literature of another language, the users of both those languages come closer to each other emotionally. The importance and relevance of translation in our day-to-day life is undoubtedly multifaceted and wide-ranging. Over the years, the relevance of the multilateral and multidimensional activities of translation has increased, and its international importance as a socio-cultural bridge of different countries is great. India has had links with the ancient civilizations of the world such as Greek, Egypt, and China. This intimate relationship would not have been possible without the knowledge of the various languages being spoken in the society of different civilizations. Surely man understood the importance of translation long back. Now here the meaning and importance of translation has increased immensely in today's fast-changing world. In the present circumstances, when things are changing rapidly in the world, the boundaries of country and time are getting smaller than the world horizon, but not only there is a need for close mutual contact between different countries or societies scattered across the country, but there is also a need for mutual dialogue among the people of other communities or societies spread across the country and the world. Translation has an important role in meeting these needs. Which meets today's personal, social, or national needs. Undoubtedly, the scope of translation is not limited only to the branches of knowledge and science. In the modern era, its field has become very wide. To clarify this broad field of translation, it is necessary to pay attention to some very important facts which structure its areas. These important facts are as follows. 2.4.1 Prospects of translation and the concept of global village. Interlinguistic translation becomes essential in intersocial and intercultural relations. Translation works to bring two languages closer and through that, standing in the role of a mutual mediator between two cultures, erases the distance between them. Due to translation, knowledge of any other language and culture is gained. There is a sense of empathy towards it, and one's linguistic cultural superiority is lost. Therefore, translation creates a sense of harmony between different languages and cultures and ends cultural unions. When people of different language culture share knowledge and experience with each other and try to establish mutual dialogue, then the process of intercultural communication starts between them. The increased interaction between these different linguistic peoples broadens their outlook and understanding and develops a sense of mutual harmony among them. Political treaties concluded between nations. The environment of cultural exchange make translation essential. The work and expansion of global organizations like UNO, UNICEF, WHO rests on the strength of translation. The global base of any global organization depends on its translation work in different languages. At present, no culture or community of the world can live alone by being cut off from the rest of the world. Today, sociocultural prosperity means that we understand other culture and society of the world and also examine our own situation in its light. With the presence of a wide network of mass media, the barriers of language and culture are being eroded. The media is making the world's information accessible to the general public by translating it from its own language. For example, there was a time when global knowledge in India was locked in English and measured journalism was on the shelf in front of grey journalism, but now it has become a thing of the past. Hindi media is now very advanced and prosperous, and Discovery, National, Geo etc. which provide the treasure of science in Hindi. Certainly it has become a possible because of the translation. No global communication is possible without translation. 2.4.2 Translation, an idea of world literature. Translation is the art of transmitting and administering the linguistic, literary and cultural achievements of the source language and transferring it to the next level in the target language. Translation makes knowledge, science and literature, transcending the limits of its original language, qualified and accessible to speakers of other languages. Immortality of a language can no longer remain within the walls of that language. Almost all the major works of world's knowledge literature are available in many languages. Whenever a new important work comes to light in any language, its translations are soon done in other major languages. Any relevant idea or reference is now in a position to influence the literature of all the major languages simultaneously, and the possibility of a common world literature has been shaped on their basis. For example, references like postmodern ideology, globalization, consumerism, technology, information revolution, etc., are simultaneously affecting the literature of almost all the languages of the whole world. Until some time ago, the concept of world literature was considered to be imaginary. But as the translation of important famous works of the world in other languages is increasing, the concept of world literature is getting a firm foundation. The same is the case with film and other medium creations. It is due to translation that an important film of any language starts appearing on the silver screen in other languages of the world soon in the next rung of success, the political and linguistic walls of any creation. Art, science cannot bind it within its limits. Every good and great creation becomes accessible to the world. A list can be made of the important creations of the world, and they can be underlined as the heritage of the world. Kalidas, Shakespeare, Goethe, Tulsidas, Kabir, Nanak, Valmiki, Mirza, Ghalib, Khusro, John Milton, Nazrul Islam, Subramaniam Bharati, Rabindranath Tagore, Eliot, Tolstoy, Kama, Satran, Beckett, Panto Neruda Rivate, Premchand, the creators of Maxim Gorky, Ezra Pound, Jaishankar Prasad, Nirta, etc., are not the creators of any one language, but they are collectively world writers and their literature is world literature. 2.4.3 National Integration and Translation. In the multilingual nature of India, translation is the formulae of emotional unity at the national level. In a country where 1652 languages are spoken and 22 languages have constitutional recognition, it is natural that the facts of a shared culture exist in the customs and traditions of this country divided into castes, classes and communities, where linguistic identity has become the subject of struggle. Those who are keeping the unity and integrity of the country intact and are introducing the composite culture, whenever the unity and integrity of the country is seen to be winning in the socio-political tide, then the whole country stands shoulder to shoulder and encroaches on the boundary of the language in one voice. In fact, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the created psyche of the country expresses the same sentiment in the literature of different languages. The widespread presence of translation has made it clear that in the history of thousands of years, the tradition of Indian literature has been flowing in the same direction. The efforts of translation on a wide scale have shown that, at the level of thinking and creation, there is a wonderful similarity in the entire Indian literature. On the basis of translations, it can be known that Valmiki in Sanskrit, Goswami, Tulsidas in Hindi, Krittivas in Bengali, Shankardev in Assamese, Kamban in Tamil, Eknath in Marathi and Balaram in Oriya, etc., based on the same Ramkatha, created the religious and social life of their time and country, were leading. The true nature of the country's social culture can be realized only through translation, and it can be given a permanent form. Languages and scripts are born and die in the flow of history. Due to social, religious, or political reasons, at some point of time a language becomes a folk language, and then in due course of time some other language like Sanskrit was folk language in India before BC, and later it was replaced by Pali, Prakrit and Apabhramsa languages respectively. Hindi, Marathi, etc. developed. Even in Hindi, the nature of the language of the ancient period, where Avdi and Braj language developed in the medieval period and Khadi Boli Hindi became prestigious in the modern period. Similarly, today's Devanagari script has evolved from the ancient Brahmi script. With the translation of the works of these earlier languages, the real knowledge of the literary tradition of the country has been possible, and the country has been able to realize its real identity on their basis. In this way, the real knowledge of its history can be obtained from the translation of the literature of earlier languages. Through translation, we can experience the Indian cultural heritage and be proud of its cultural heritage. 2.4.4 Communication, Information Revolution and Translation. The present era is of communication information revolution. Information technology has exploded the literature of knowledge, and communication revolution has reduced the boundaries of country and time and given the world a very small form. Today, along with time, information and knowledge are getting enriched very fast. Information has multiplied in the last few years. The richness of information and knowledge is happening like radiation of radioactive elements and its half-life. Surely all this is possible on the basis of translation. Through translation, we are able to know the discoveries of communication and technology and keep in touch with the latest developments in various branches and fields of knowledge. The media and information revolution has made it possible to make any work accessible to every corner of the world at the same time. Today there is a great need of translation in the fields of education, science and technology, mass communication, trade and commerce, literature, religion, tourism, etc. to satisfy the growing hunger of knowledge in the human mind, and translation as a service is now available in these fields. More opportunities have become available. Deep study of translation is needed not only because it makes global contact possible and introduces different languages and cultures, but also because of its relevance and importance in the field of comparative studies and literary studies. Resonance pronunciation extends from academic disciplines to subjects of national and international importance. In today's consumerist era, the possibility of global commerce and trade depends on translation. Earlier, there were only opportunities for translation in newspapers and magazines. Now, with the wide presence of mediums like TV, radio, and internet, translation work has expanded rapidly.
These mediums convey information to more and more readers, listeners, and viewers together in their language. News agencies are continuously engaged in this work and provide service to their member or consumer newspapers, magazines, or channels in different languages. To be sure, the role of translation in the present context is multidimensional and multifaceted. Its expansion is not limited only to the fields of knowledge and science, but to various dimensions of socio-cultural life. 2.5 Let us sum up. Translation is such a process of transfer between two languages which has a method, and its process is completed by some definite rules. In this sense, it is translation. But compliance with these rules does not produce the same results everywhere. Translation is an art because only an artist can have the ability to transform the text of the source language into target language, which preserves not only the information or content but also the beauty of the lost language, but this image cannot be the same in all. Translation is a skill that is possible through continuous practice. In this sense, it is a craft. The scope of translation is wide. Translation has an effective role in globalization, and the relevance of translation in a multilingual country like India is undeniable. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with next chapter.